Hey guys, well here we are in the shop today and we're working on the G0602 and I'm just trying to sort out the Altaros turret and get it mounted. The first thing I want to do is determine the height of my tool. Now originally on the G0602 my tool height was 78 millimeters. So what I did was I just measured my old tool post and I measured from the top of the tool, the tip of the tool down to my cross slide. And what I got was 78 millimeters. 77.9, 78 millimeters. Of course this is not bolted down, but I got 77.99. So 78 millimeters should be good. And I checked a couple of different tools just to make sure, and so they're all in the range, plus or minus 1,000 or so. So now that I know what the distance is from my center line of the spindle to the top of my cross slide, based upon my old tooling, I need to make the turret that amount. Now looking in the manual, it says that the base of the turret here to the top of the tool is 64.5 millimeters. So what I did was I've got some tooling here and I just stuck them in there and measured just to be sure all the tooling is the same height. So I measured this. Now they're not in here tight, they're just stuck in here loosely, but and that one's 64.55. So now that we've determined the old tool post height of 78 millimeters and the turret center line is 64.5, we can subtract that and we come up with 13.5 millimeters. So that's how much I need to raise my turret. What I've got here is some of this Mic 6 that was left over from my ATC build. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount that on there. This is 5/8 inch thick, so I'll have to take a couple of millimeters off of this, but that should give me the height that I need for my tool rotation and my center line height. Now I already have a couple of mounting holes for my quick change tool post, so what I'm going to try to do is reuse this one, so that's one less hole I've got to put in my cross slide here. I've got two mounting holes up here, the one here and one back here. I also need to avoid this hole that was already here for the old tool post. So what I did was I transferred all these dimensions onto my Mic 6 here. Another thing that we have to do is the way the turret is designed, it has this nut that protrudes from the bottom, so we've got to provide clearance for that as well. And that is all in the manual. It gives you the dimensions for mounting. We've also got our 4 holes here to mount the turret. These will be M8, so we need to drill and thread mill those as well. Alright, so here is the finished plate, and well, the best laid plans, well, they don't always seem to pan out. So once I stuck the turret up here, everything bolts up just fine. I made it flush here with the back of the cross slide, and with it all the way back and a tool in here, that's going to give me, of course I can cut another 1/2 inch off this tool here, but even so, got it about a 1/2 inch back here of where I originally thought it should be. That's going to give me about 2 1/8, which will be about 4 1/4 inch stock. That's not going to really provide me with enough room there to do the stuff that I want to do. The spacers for the Precision Matthews, those are 6-inch diameter, so I'd like to be able to turn those with the turret. In order to do that, I'm going to have to cantilever this over the back a little bit, which will be okay. It's still going to put the tool here somewhere in the center of the cross slide. But if I can do that, I think I'll be better off. Originally I had this hole here and I wanted to kind of reuse it, so that was the reason that this hole is currently here. That kept it all flush, kept this square. It would just be easy to line everything up. So if I cantilever it back about an inch and 3/16 or so off the back here, then look how close this hole is. Now these holes here are where the little brass oil fittings were. I can re-drill that and thread it for this, but it's not quite centered up on the hole. So what I'm going to do is, I would like to use this hole. I would also like to reuse this hole. That would mean that I only really need to drill and tap 2 holes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to slot this an inch and 3/16 this way. I'm going to slot this a 1/2 inch that way. I'm going to slot this hole an inch and 3/16 and slot this one an inch and 3/16. And then that way I can just have to drill and tap 2 holes. If I move it an inch and 3/16 back and mount it, that's going to give me the clearance I need to turn a bigger diameter stock. That'll give me enough clearance room to back off the 6-inch material and move the tool in and out of the way. I thought I had all that sorted out before, but apparently not. So now we're going to take this back into Fusion 360. We're going to reconfigure this with slots, and then we'll go out to this Precision Matthews and remachine this piece. Alright, so we're back in Fusion 360 and we need to modify our drawing. So I'm going to edit this sketch. I'm going to place a line right here, 12.7 millimeters. Going to put a circle here, 8 millimeters. Then we can connect these two here. Like so. Alright, so we're going to trim this up, get rid of all this. Now we have our slot here. We need to offset the slot for the counter bore. 3 millimeters, that should do it. Then we need to slot this one. So we're going to, again, make a line. This time we're going to come this way, 25.4 millimeters. So we're going to make this 15. We're going to put a circle here, 8 millimeters. Again, we're going to connect these two circles together. Hit T to trim this up and remove these unwanted lines here. Again, we're going to offset this 3 millimeters. Okay, let's see how that looks. Alright, so you can see we've moved this up a little bit and also down some. So we're going to place a line here. This is going to be 31 millimeters. And we're also going to do this one down here at the same time, 31 millimeters. Alright, circle, hit C for circle, 8 millimeters. Up here we're going to hit C for circle, 8 millimeters. We're going to draw some lines. Press L for line. Repeat down here on this bottom slot. T to trim. So we're going to trim these unwanted lines here. Okay. 3 millimeters. And offset this one. 3 millimeters. Alright, let's finish this sketch and see what this looks like. Alright, now that that is complete, we can go back and edit our extrusion here. Okay. So that one's okay. We don't have to do anything with that. We can get rid of that because that's going to be a slot now. See how that looks. Okay, that looks alright. We can remove all of these. We're going to come back and we're going to extrude again. Let's do 6.5 millimeter. All right. All right, so this is our new mounting plate. So let's go back out to the mill and we'll remachine this mounting plate. All right, so we've got the material back in the machine. We've got everything lined up. Let's run the G-code. looks pretty good. You can see right here, I dropped this part, transferring it from the G0602 over to the mill, and so I flattened that corner off right there. So I'll try to hit that with a file, but I wanted to point my flaws out here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So now I think this will give us the distance we need. So let's get this out. We'll take it back over to the G0602. Alright, that looks pretty good there. So next, let's get the turret mounted on here. You can see this notch here is for this nut that protrudes off the bottom there slightly. Alright, so now we have the turret mounted. That should be about all the way back there. Okay, so I've got all the tooling cut down. I cut down the grooving or parting tool here as short as possible. The design of this tool, just like with the threading tool, is slightly different than regular tooling. With the regular tooling, we can slide it all the way up. With these two tools, the way the tool is designed, there's a protrusion there, and so this kind of sticks up. So this will be the maximum travel I can get. So I just made all of the tools the same length as the grooving tool or parting tool. Okay, that should be my maximum travel there. But let me rotate this around. To rotate it manually, you just press the solenoid here on. Let me get some air. Alright. Pretty straightforward. So let's measure that now and see exactly what the distance I have since I've honed the x-axis. I've got an 1/8 inch piece of stock in here. And it looks like at home I have 3 5/16. So that's going to be plenty. That'll give me enough room to get out of the way and machine a 6-inch diameter piece, which is what the biggest that I've machined so far. So I think I'm pretty good with that. Alright, so that's great. Let me get this closer out of the way here so we can work on it. We also have to make sure that we have clearance at the bottom. Let's pause for a moment to recharge the air compressor. Alright, so I've got tool 1 in here, and you can see there's a good bit of distance there that it's sticking out. Now the way these keepers are in here, the turret is machined at a slight angle, and then it straightens up about 2 or 3 millimeters down, and then this gold piece is aluminum, and it's wedge shaped. So when you tighten it up, it just locks it in there. Works really well. So now we have tool 1 in. We can put tool 2 in as well. Tool 3, my parting tool. If you got long drill bits or anything, you want them on the opposite side. So hopefully got this right. So we've got 1, 2, 3 the parting tool, and 4 will be my threading tool. Am I putting these in correctly? Okay, yeah, that looks good. Now these are 12mm tools. Got our parting tool, threading tool. Get this rotated back around. It's actually pretty quick, and now it only rotates in one direction, but it's way better than having to pause, open up the lid, change the quick change tool post. This is still going to be a lot quicker. And it's hands-free, so you can step away from the machine and let it go. Alright guys, well that's the Altaros turret. We've got it mounted. This video is probably running a little long, so we're going to stop right here. Next week's video, we're going to machine some outside blocks and some coolant plates. We're going to get it wired up, and then we'll do some machining. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you're just tuning in, click on that subscribe button down below. That way when I post a new video, if it's something you're interested in, like an Altaros turret, you can stop by and check it out. There will be a link in the video description, or you can click on this link above to find out more information about the Altaros turret. As always, please feel free to ask questions, make suggestions, or leave comments. Thanks for watching, and most importantly, be safe.